Hi everyone! Today we're going to do a book review. We're going to share the Vintage Notions coloring book series. So to start out, how did this series come about? Well, the Vintage Notions book has such beautiful illustrations. Many of those designs I decided to incorporate into a coloring book, and that became the Vintage Notions coloring book, Fashion Therapy. So this is a collection of designs from the Women's Institute, which was founded in 1916. And you will find that not only are there illustrations that you will color, but then we've also added fun quotes on the back side of the pages that are actually from the Women's Institute materials. Here's an example of some gorgeous hats and scarves. This book also includes quotes that you can color with vintage fabrics as the background. There is no cosmetic for beauty like happiness. That's one of my favorite Mary Brooks Picken quotes. Here you can see this illustration was actually one of the illustrations that was the cover of the Women's Institute series. So here we have some accessories, and then on the back side of this page, I'm going to read you the quote. Though small things in themselves, the accessories spell the difference between a costume and mere clothes. Next, we published the Pattern Play coloring book. And this coloring book is based on my collection of vintage pattern illustrations. So I went through my collection and curated the most interesting illustrations and then added some fun quotes and graphics to go along with them. And as you can see, read on the cover, it says, play fashion designer as you color your way through 150 vintage pattern illustrations. You will see here to the right that I have one of the pages of this book colored. And we even used metallic glitter pencils to color in this illustration. So I'm going to flip through some pages of this so you can see some of the fun we had. There are many different fabric companies that were producing patterns back in the 30s, 40s, and 50s. This is the Dewberry line of clothing, of fashion patterns, and you'll learn about some of those companies as you color the pages of these books. Another one of the pattern companies is called Hollywood Patterns, and we'll flip through here. This is Advance. And you can see here the fun swimsuit, I'm guessing, as well as this darling polka dot fashion. Here's the Hollywood pattern that I was looking for earlier. I love the gloves. What a great looking suit ensemble that is. So that is Pattern Play. And our third Vintage Notions coloring book is called Quilt Therapy. And I'm going to show you this book and the spine of it because it is thick. This particular coloring book has an incredible amount of designs to color that not only can be entertaining to color, but also easily used to design maybe a quilt block you're making, or if you want to design a quilt, this could be an inspiration for some way for you to color ahead of time what you want to create in fabric. So again, more than 80 inspiring quilt designs that are fun to color. So I'm going to flip through this, and in this publication we decided to go ahead and add quotes and incorporate them as well into what we were doing. Here we can have I wanted to show you just the variety of pattern that we have in this coloring book. And I'm going to also show you some actual colored versions of this from this coloring book. And let's look at a couple quotes. This might be the perfect one for me. I'm not messy, I'm creative. This is one that I think my husband would agree with and my family. How about this one? Good friends are like quilts. They age with you, yet never lose their warmth. So I'm going to end with that quote to think about and flip through a few more pages just so you see some of the designs that you'll be able to color in the Quilt Therapy And by the way, I forgot to mention that these designs are also named as you go through the book. So you'll be able to learn the quilt pattern as you color in the quilt page. This is Winding Ways. And these originally were collected from the Ladies' Art Club. I'm going to show you from the beginning of the book the story behind the blocks. So this was a collection in a catalog of quilt blocks that I found, and this is where we started to create this Vintage Made Modern coloring book. I'm going to flip through another page so you can see just the variety and the fun quilt blocks that are part of this book. Look for the links in the description to take you to purchase our coloring books, or look at your local quilt or fabric store for Indigo Junction and Amy Barickman publications. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel.